And this is the sexual energy is a very powerful inner alchemy to the sexual energy practice. Sexual alchemy is very unique, okay? And every religious discover the same thing. So in the Taoism there are two. So if some of the Tao priests, so you're not married. Okay, the same thing like the monk and the nun and the priest and the holy man. And what is the purpose of no sex? Because they want to transform it, they want to keep the sexual energy, they don't want to lose the sexual energy, and they want to transform it. Okay. Now, when I study this, when the Tao text talk about this also, but when you're not married, you have to do practice in order to able to control the sexual energy, and you can transform it. So the text haven't say further on, but for me, after I trained for a while, I said, the people that want to be monk and nun and want to transform the sex, but they don't have other method. So the way is announce to the world, no sex. That's it. Okay. So and the way to do it, singing, chanting, suppress sex, until one day the sexual energy transform. And this is all. I exposed to many other system practice. They don't have a very concrete technology, 1, 2, 3 way to do it. So in that way, all they do is get away from all the sexual stimulation and don't look at the Playboy magazine or Playboy movie, okay? And just stay in the cave or stay in the temple and just pray and sing and chant and wait until the sexual energy transform. So I learned from both systems in the Tao ways, okay? Married and not married. And the not married one, married one, you have more technique because you have to able to control it and able to transform it. So for the man, the whole theory is men have to learn how to transform the jing into qi. And women have to able to transforming the blood into qi. So that is the theory. So another theory is that men have to learn how to control or stop ejaculations. And women have to reduce and eventually stop the menstruations. So that is the two theory in there. Okay. So it's a very concrete and very spell out, very clear cut. Okay. Now, this is the major practice of it. And the other part is about exchanging of the loving and the sexual energy. So that is the second part. So one is when you get it, you can transform it. That's one thing. The second thing, when you are married or you are doing sexual practice with your partner, you have to learn how to exchange with the energy. And the third part is involved with the how to recycle this sexual energy in an orbit. Okay, in an orbit. So that is a very important part on this three major theory. Okay, and all involved with you have to in touch with the sexual energy. You feel your sexual energy, you feel the energy moving, and you feel the energy started to flow. Okay. Now, sexual energy is real. Okay, every people experience it. Since we are young, we experience a sexual arousal. And nobody don't experience that. Even monk or nun or priest, they experience it. And the way to do it is suppress it. But sexual energy, you cannot be suppressed. It's like a fire and you try to get a paper to wrap the fire. You cannot wrap them. You're going to burn through the paper. Okay? And that is so the whole theory of the Tao. So the first thing we want to do is to take the sexual energy upward. So we said turning the water wheel. So we're going to learn how to turn the water wheel. Turn the water wheel, and in the olden time, they don't have a pumping system. Like now we have a pump. Now you just buy a pump and you pump it upward. So they call stepping on the water wheel. So you step on the water wheel and you pump the water upward. Pass to the fire, change into the steam, and go up into higher center. So we call turning the water wheel. Okay? And in the olden time, this sexual practice regarding a very unique. So these two systems, two major, we call initiation, it's initiations, okay? But when it comes to me, I just no initiate, because when I learned from my master that stayed in the cave for 40 years old, so I asked him that why we don't have much initiation. He said, initiation is for people to see. If you're in the cave and you have no people, you do it yourself. You may be able to call a monkey in the jungle to do initiation, you know. So you just have to do practice. That's it, you know. Okay. So the practice itself we call delete one name in the book of death, and rewrite your name in the book of life. So, like the microcosmic, we call born again process. It's written down. It's a born again process. Okay. And so this is, we call the way of the heaven, is the flow upward. The way of the human is flow downward. Okay? So you flow downward, outward, you finish. You go upward, you have life. Okay? So that is a very important part. So we divide the sexual practice in the physical, in the soul sex, and the spiritual sex. Okay? So in Tao practice, are very straightforward, okay? Very straightforward. If you want to transform your sexual energy, work with your sexual organ. Simple, okay? Very simple, forward. So so sexual chemistry also can be deepens possible experience if we can share the physical, emotional. Because when we're making love, we actually share the physical, emotional, and spiritual with each other. That's how the sexual reunion is very important, okay? And Jing, our essence, is stored in the kidney and the sexual organ. And our physical vitality and life force that originated in the kidney. So the kidney is very important in the Tao practice. So you always need to keep it warm. Now, kidney don't like fear, but in our society, selling fear is the biggest business, okay? So like the simple one is health insurance, selling what? Huh? Fear, right? Life insurance, selling what? Fear. You know? So we're selling fear. Kidney don't like fear. When they fear, the kidney have no energy, and it lose the life force, the Jing, okay? The Jing governing our sexual response, physical, regenerating, and creative impulse. The sexual energy, the Jing energy, is regenerating our physical, heal our physical, and creating power also. So sexual communication with our loved one, we are actually communicating in cellular level and share our deepest information. You actually share, okay, when you go into lovemaking, okay? So exchange energy will help to strengthening your immune system, restore health and wholeness. So our excess sex can deplete, if we have too much sex, it depletes the Jing and the life force. So make love in the right way or in the wrong way, you deplete your life essence. Okay? So that is a very simple talking about how loving energy are sharing very deep inside us. Okay, very deep. And so this is a theory of when you we call normal, normal person. Okay, you marry, you have love, and you have children. Okay, and the other way. So this is the theory of the Tao of the practice one, and the one that know no physical contact, they're talking about spiritual sex, but they don't mention about it. Okay, so they have a different theory again. Sex is not good, this and that, sin and evil and all these things. So everybody have their different theory. And the first book that we have, we call the Healing Love, Tao Cycle of Love, and Multi-Orgasm Man, and Multi-Orgasm Couple, and we just finished this Multi-Orgasm Woman. Okay, so we're talking more about the woman is very important because in one way, women are more sexual superior than men. And that's why we, the men, are afraid of it. Okay? But men have bigger muscle. The other superior, but it's, we big muscle. Okay? So from the history, we always conquer. And we call slave. Okay? Conquer and having slave. And that's how beginning of the man, And we, because it's very interesting in China that Tao talking about, but that sometimes some Chinese they're talking about, is about woman actually is the one that carry the direct bloodline. Okay, woman. And because woman ejaculation, and that's it, finished. And you're no responsible, anymore. But the woman have to bear 9 months and have to feed the baby with milk and have to raise the children up to 5, 10, or 20 years old. So a children, boy or woman, have much more connecting with the bloodline with the woman, with the mother. But to men, no. But have to use man last name. Because we are bigger muscle also. So we have to use the last name, So that is that's why China sometimes they have a big problem with that, because everybody want their last name to pass on. Okay, so in one time they only have one children, and they always kill the girl, and they want a boy. If they happen to that family have no boy at all, they just have a woman. They're just very depressed. Okay. And now they have problem with getting more girl to marry. They have more men and women. So the multi-orgasm woman is involved with women are very sexual energy superior, but the important part is men have to understand it, because women capable of many time orgasm and capable of many time ejaculations. And one of the very, very old book talking about, we call tree water. Woman at least able to ejaculation at least 3 times. Okay. But man, one shot, finish. Okay, that's it, Have to wait for a while, or tomorrow or next day, Okay, so it's very different from women. Okay. Woman can multi-ejaculation and orgasm. So that is the one thing very different on the woman. Okay, so that is this book. We're going to deal with that. Okay, and the sexual reflexology.